All right, well, we're here. I'm here with Keith Tyson, excited to announce the acquisition. So Macha PSM has acquired Guideline Training. And so we're going to do a video kind of talking about that. So Keith, thanks for being here. So the first thing I'd like to do is, Keith, just have give our audience an opportunity to get to know you and kind of your history. One of the things that struck me is I think you've been in PSM longer than PSM has existed. So
Yep. Yeah, so I started out in a pressure vessel shop building design, quality assurance, pressure vessels for petrochem back in the 80s, and later I became an authorized inspector, the boiler inspector, and began doing work in the petrochem Houston area, the ship channel. At about the time the PSM law came into being, 1992, I was an authorized inspector, and there were many companies doing, there were not many companies, I'm sorry, doing process safety management. Mm-hmm. And then I got a call from an ice cream manufacturer, and they needed some work, so inquiring, why do you need this mechanical integrity? Well, we have ammonia refrigeration. And it was a shock. Since then, looked around and found another ice cream, and then there was dairy, and then pretty soon it was there was a lot of work to be done in ammonia refrigeration, and that became what I did. And back then, the rules that we had were weak, and there was a lot of information that we didn't have. I did a lot of overkill in the beginning. I tried to apply what we do in petrochem to what we're doing with refrigeration, and it's just not necessary. So It took years to develop a method of what we need in refrigeration, and soon I was doing PHAs, audits, P&IDs, everything with P&I.
You've done the whole gambit of
everything.
Ammonia, PSM,
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah.
So. Okay, good. And then you called me back, and I think it was in February. So kind of tell the story there of what led you to kind of reach out.
Well, as I said earlier, I started out before PSM was PSM. So after 30 years, it's getting time, and it's time to let the younger folks take the lead. And so in preparing, knowing that retirement is going to be on the horizon, I'd like to hand off, if there's anything I have that can be of use for the people, the young ones today, then I'd like to share that before I ride off into the sunset. Mm-hmm. And we have mutual clients, and in talking with them, I was impressed with the youth and the strength and the speed and the integrity, and so reached out to you, and I think we've been successful so far. So.
Yeah, we're excited about the partnership, and frankly, we have a really young team. I don't know if I want to share the average experience per employee, but it's a green team. So to have someone like you come in who has all that experience in the industry was really exciting. Particularly with the training. You have a ton of training resources. You've been doing it for decades. And so that's a world we're trying to get into, is training. And so taking kind of that experience, and we've talked about sprucing them up and those kind of things. We're really excited to add those offerings. And then the other part of it that I think we're both excited about is helping your clients with a potential transition plan. So if you want to maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I've had these clients for decades, and we have a method of doing the work, and I go on site and take care of it. And I'd like to be able to bring in new people and instruct them and show them how that my clients expect that work to be completed. And when I do step away, just carry on as we have. And there are opportunities for improvement. I mean, we've kind of been doing it the same way for some time now, so it may be time to upgrade and bring a little newer technology into. So that would be exciting for them and myself as well.
Yeah. Well, and I'm proud of our 5-year mechanical integrity audit process and deliverables. But that being said, when I flew out to this client in Florida, and you showed me their process, I was like, I would not have known how to do this specific thing that they're looking for. And so I'm just glad that we'll be able to continue providing what they're expecting. And so yeah, definitely excited about that. Let's transition a little bit and just kind of talk about the industry. So you've been in it for a number of decades now. So I know a lot has changed, but talk a little bit about what you think has stayed the same and what will continue to stay the same regardless of innovations.
One thing, ammonia hasn't changed. And that may be one of the paths that the industry tried to take in the beginning, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, was trying to persuade OSHA that law shouldn't apply to them. And it is different from a refinery, a chemical plant, but it can be just as hazardous. So ammonia hasn't changed, and the need for safety, the need for process safety management has not decreased. That will always be here. Our technologies have changed. 30 years ago, it was not uncommon to smell ammonia. It was just part of it. It was just everywhere.
I've been in a number of inspections with older inspectors, and they go, well, hey, I didn't smell ammonia, so that's good. So didn't used to be that way.
Well, there were also the plants where I could smell ammonia because I'm not as susceptible, or I can smell it where the guys
right.
who've been around it can whatever, but
A tolerance.
a
to
tolerance.
It.
So they have a tolerance to it, and they can't smell anything. But anyway, today, if you smell ammonia, it's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring it to their attention that, hey, there's a vapor, there's a leak, they're on it. They're right. And so the systems are safer. It still can be dangerous. There are still precautions we need to do. There's still a need for everything that we're doing in PSM. But what has changed today is the ability, the ways that we can accomplish that work. There used to be tons of paper and file cabinets, and today it's getting to where you don't need paper anymore. So that's with the digital age coming around, there are things that I'm having to learn, and maybe I'm not going to. Maybe I'm an old dog. I don't need those new tricks, but it's exciting to see that those changes in the PSM world
Right.
are taking place.
So we talked a bit about what primarily is going to stay the same in our industry. Let's talk a little bit about what has changed in the past maybe 10 to 15 years, and what do you think is going to change in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think doing it in-house seems to be moving to more of a cloud-based approach to it. I was a little skeptical of it myself. I'm old school, and I want to see that paper. And if someone asks for that paper, I want to be able to go to there and retrieve that document, and here you go. I was a paper and pencil guy. But the abilities of the cloud now, the abilities of technology to have this information anywhere, at where you don't have to go to the PSM library, you can retrieve it on your phone or on your tablet, or on your computer. Those things are exciting to see. Just the retrieval of that. Again, I was a little skeptical of it 15 years ago. I would have said, no, keep all your paper in-house. But today, I think we're there with the technologies.
Yeah, and I think what's exciting about new technologies is not only is it easier, but it actually can help you keep a better program. Because if you update it in one spot, it should update the rest of your program, and so it's not having to update 5 different documents. It'll kind of automatically update things.
Another problem with the old paper-based is that you have turnover of people, and you have someone who built that system and knows where everything is, and then he's no longer available. Where is that information? Well, now with the cloud-based, with everything available, it's you can find it, and it will be easily retrieved for those in the future. So carrying on that program. In the old days, there was one client in particular where interviewing the client, getting ready to do the job, and they needed everything in PSM. They had nothing. And so we're preparing for the audits and the PHAs and the building of the files and all of the things that go with that. And there was a file cabinet in a room, and they said, oh, use any of this information. And in this file cabinet was a complete PSM program that had been built sometime in the past, but that guy's gone now.
Right.
And no one knew it was there.
Right.
And that happens so much in our industry of having to repeat the same duties again and again and again. So in the future, it's there.
Right.
And it lives on for the next person that comes in.
Yeah, that's critical. Well, another thing that I'm excited to announce, and I think maybe we've already been talking about it, but is we didn't plan this, but we're actually both speaking at the RETA conference this year in Spokane in October. So I'm speaking on mastering PSM. So last year I did it was called Optimizing Your PSM Program. And I had a number of people come up to me afterwards and say, this probably needs to be a 2-part session, because I normally try to keep it within, but there was so much content, it was kind of, going beyond the time constraint. But when there's 14 elements and you're talking about each one of them, that's hard to squeeze into 50 minutes or whatever they give you. So, but yeah, this year I'm doing a 2-part session on mastering your PSM program. And what are you talking about this year?
I'm giving a presentation on corrosion allowance. Through my career, there are a lot of misconceptions, application, questions, and I'm going with a project now where corrosion allowance could have been applied a little better. And so it's important that people understand what it is and what it isn't, and what it can do and what it won't do. So, and what's required.
Like it won't grow back.
It won't come back. It won't come back. But are you getting your money's worth if you are applying it?
Right.
So, and if you are applying it, make sure you get it. You're paying for it, so make sure it's there. So it's from my background in pressure vessels and pressure vessel design, corrosion allowance is an important factor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to be presenting that.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. So if you're at the RETA conference this year, you can catch us there. And the last thing I wanted to just say is, so obviously we're very excited about this partnership. So Keith is a senior advisor now for Macha PSM, and that's slated for the next few years. So he's on our team, and we're excited to have him on our team. And as much as we're excited about what we're doing in this partnership, I think we're more excited just to serve our clients. So continuing to be a great partner for Keith's existing clients, and then to have these resources now available. Keith's training resources available to Macha PSM's clients as far as training and PHAs, and drafting, all the wealth of knowledge you bring. We're just excited to continue to serve our industry, and to, in some ways, pass the torch from your generation to the next. So, thanks for your time, Keith, and we appreciate the partnership.
Thank you.